In today's video, we'll be going over the details of the latest exciting edition here at Books. So, grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's get started. Hello readers, I'm Will Hansen and this is Books, your one-stop shop for stories of all flavors. And I come to you this week from Books HQ to talk to you about our new book club. But Will, I hear you say, since when does Books have a book club? And it's now, right this minute. I'm making it a thing. But how does it work? I hear you asking. To which I say, stop asking so many questions. Let me talk, I'll tell you. Over the course of 2025, I'll be posting a series of review videos on the final Friday of the month. These videos will feature books that I have been meaning to read or reread, and I would like to discuss with you, the people who have been partaking of my stories, making books happen. But Will, that's just another review show. Lots of people do that. Yes, you're right. But there's some differences between those shows and this club. The first thing is that we're a club, and clubs are cool, or at least so I've been told. I've never really been in one. The second thing is that those review shows are theirs, and this is ours. Sure, I picked the books for this year, but you can drive the discussion. And here's how. By joining the newly hatched Books Discord server, where every month we will open a channel for the appropriate book. There, you can talk about what you like, what you don't like, why you think I picked a terrible book, and you do it better, or how that month's author is your favorite. On the penultimate Friday of the month, I'll collect the comments, questions, and bits of discussion from Discord, Facebook, and YouTube comments that seem to drive the chat the most, and feature them in the video for that book, whether they align with my point of view of the work or not. This way, every month your voices are heard, and after the video is out, the discussion can continue, if you choose to continue it. Just because the content rolls on doesn't mean your discussion has to stop, in Discord or the comments. As for me and the content of the reviews, I'm going to try using the CAWPILE system to keep me on topic and inform my side of the discussion. For those of you not in the know, the CAWPILE system is a book review framework created by G over at BookRoast. They have a great video breaking it down, better than I ever could, because, well, they created it. And I'll link that video in the description, but for now, I'll just give you the gist. CAWPILE stands for Characters, Atmosphere, Writing Style, Plot, Intrigue, Logic, and Enjoyment. When you finish your book, or as you go, you assign a numerical value, I believe it's 1 through 10, to each one of these metrics. And after some math wizardry I'm not smart enough to understand, those metrics are turned into a 5-star rating. I've played with it a little bit, but our first novel will be my first real test of the system. I'm hoping it will help keep things consistent on my side. At the end of each month's video, there will be an introduction to the next month's book. But Will, I hear you scream into the void again. What is next month's book? Well, I'm going to tell you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a quick run-through of the list of all 11 books right now, so you have plenty of time to get your hands on them. February's book, our first, is Strata by Terry Pratchett, but more on that one later. For March, our book is The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I know this is one that has made the rounds before, but I first heard about it in a Library of a Viking video, where he went around and asked authors for recommendations. Also, my wife bought it for me for Christmas, so there's that. Then, in April, The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. The first Hercule Poirot novel has been in the public domain for a while. A reread for me, but it was important to me to create an eclectic mix, and I do enjoy a good mystery. Also, it's hard not to pull something from the collection of the most successful author of all time. And like many of you, I will be picturing David Suchet as Poirot the entire time. May? Jade City by Fonda Lee. Another one I first heard about in Library of a Viking's video, but I have seen all over the place. I'm looking forward to reading it, especially as the little bit I have managed to read over the last few years has been very Euroculture-centric, like Pratchett or Tolkien. For June, The Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences, Phoenix Rising, by Pip Ballantyne and T. Morris. Okay, so we have several firsts in a series on this list, but a lot of this is the stuff I've been wanting to make time to read for a long time, and I remember when this one released. I've been a fan of T and Pip for years, ever since first listening to T's Moravie and following that up with Pip's Chasing the Bard. I'm looking forward to reading this one. Then in July, Red Planet by Robert A. Heinlein, classic sci-fi. I read a bit of Heinlein in high school and really enjoyed his work. Methuselah's Children, Orphans of the Sky, and have always meant to read more. And in case you didn't notice, this year's list is mostly a way to make me read what I've been meaning to and taking you along for the ride. After that is August and True Grit by Charles Portis. No, you can't watch the movie instead of reading the book. If you do, though, watch the John Wayne, 'cause the Duke. Then, in September, we read The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I have never read Hemingway. I never thought I would read Hemingway. We're going to read Hemingway. Because as I said, eclectic mix, and that includes classics like Hemingway. For October, it's Dracula by Bram Stoker. No, your October book selection is obvious and redundant. And then, in November, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I found this one by Googling books to read in November, and having not really been involved in the whole BookTube thing until recently, I'd never heard of it before. It seemed like a chill thing to read around the stress of the holidays, which I think might be the point of it. Finally, wrapping it up in December, we have The Father Christmas Letters by Tolkien. I have wanted to read these since I first heard about them years ago. The idea of a father sitting down to write letters from Santa to his kids every year is awesome. And it's the kind of thing I wanted to do for my kids, but never found the time. Tolkien might have been a cooler dad than me. There will be a link to the full list over on my website in the description. But Will, I know, Strata, Terry Pratchett, first book of the year. I chose Strata by Terry Pratchett as our first book because it was kind of like the prototype for Pratchett's Discworld, or pre-consideration as it's listed on the Discworld Emporium. And in many ways, this first video is going to be the prototype for our book club. It also helps that I own a copy of the book, and he's one of my favorite authors. This is one of Pratchett's rare sci-fi outings, centering on the adventures of a planet builder by the name of Kin Arad, who, after 200 years of life, finds herself at the top of her industry. Very little surprises Kin at this point in her life. After all, she did once sneak her initials into a mountain range she designed when she was younger. But something comes along that does surprise her, and we get to go along with her to investigate. You can pick up the physical paperback copy of this book at Amazon, link in the description, or over at the Discworld Emporium if you're in the UK and you'd rather support a small company. I've bought some things from there before, and it takes some time for stuff to cross the pond. So if you're in the States, you'd be better off time-wise with Amazon or trying your favorite bookstore. I couldn't find a Kindle edition for this one, but there is an ebook and Kobo has it. Now, for some homework. Remember to go and join our new Discord to be part of our discussion of Strata in next month's book club debut. You can click here to subscribe to the channel and join our book club. This over here will take you to last week's episode of Liam of Carcan. And if you don't know Liam, this playlist will introduce you. As always, thanks for reading. Now, go enjoy a book.